I think it's time to announce the next round of Realmathon. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hi, I'm Cassidy. If it's not, thanks for always tuning into my videos. Last year, I created a readathon called Realm of the Readathon, or Realmathon for short. It's what we call it. I think it went over quite well, so it's back. It's new, and it's better than ever for this year's round, which will happen the same month. It'll be happening in April. All month of April will be for Realmathon. Now, if you participated last year, I'm going to ask you to forget what you know about last year. It runs the same way. We have the same basic premise, but the story behind each of the realms is different, and I'm very excited for this year. If you have no idea what Realmathon is about, it is a team-based readathon where we have 4 realms competing to be the last realm standing. You get to read books that are positive points, which help your team, or you can read books and do negative points, which take away from the other team's points. I just think was a lot of fun, and I loved it. A disclaimer is that this is based off my favorite subgenre of fantasy, which is like a military fantasy. It definitely has like divulged this year, and the theme is different than last year's, but still basic premise was created based on military fantasy. If you're not watching the premiere, hi everyone in the premiere, and you are watching this back later, I will have everything time-stamped so that you can move around and process it the way it works for you, where I'm going to explain it in a way that works for me. So before we get into like the how-to rules, we are just going to go over the theme of this year's and the different realms. I will say a lot of the stuff I put into this readathon is useless. Each realm has its own like world and like history, which is not needed at all. I'm a fantasy kind of gal, and I just like love that kind of stuff, and I just thought it added to the readathon so much. So this year in Realmathon, we have 4 realms who are converging on the same spot within space and time. So essentially you have 4 realms overlapping each other within space and time, and that can't happen. There's only enough room for one of them at this moment in time, so the realms are ripping each other apart, trying to be the last one standing. All the other realms will just cease to exist at the end of this, besides the winner, because the winner obviously had enough points. The winner at the end of this is the realm that has the most positive points per person on their team. It is averaged out. So this year when you're reading books, you'll either be reading books that give you your realm positive points, which will increase your realm's magic, thus increasing the amount of rifts you have in other realms, or you will be reading negative point prompts, which actually like mend up the rifts in your realm, which in turn decreases the realm's magic elsewhere, like the other realm's magic. Each realm is looking for citizens like you to pledge their allegiance. So choose a realm, pledge yourself, and let's get to reading. The 4 realms this year. I'm obsessed with this year's map. Let me move over. Just like last year, we have a map. I love this one. I think it's so much better than last year's, and I loved last year's. Let's go through all the 4 types of realms. There is something a little bit different this year. It's not subgenre based, it is genre based. So if you participated last year, you already know what that means. If you didn't participate, wait till I get to the how-to and like how you score points, and then you'll understand everything, I promise. So the first realm we have is Sanctum. Sanctum is the realm of thrills and chills. Sanctum is like a desert ghost land. It is a realm that lacks a lot of color. You really see like grays and blacks and whites and like shades of blue. But whenever magic is used, you will see like a spark of color. You can expect the paranormal to be a regular occurrence over in Sanctum. Your best friend will probably be a ghost. This realm uses the magic of the unknown and the bizarre. It's what like fuels it. You can call upon vampires, demons, spirits, angels, anything paranormal and spooky you will find within Sanctum. The border between life and death has never been so thin as it has in Sanctum. Like, you could just easily cross over and cross back all the time. And the land and magic is fueled by this thin line and the connections made between either side. So the more ghost friends you have, the stronger the magic is. I want a ghost friend. This is Team Sanctum's emblem. Each team has an emblem, so you can shout it out on social media which team you are joining. And your lovely rulers of Sanctum are Riley from Riley Marie and Lexi from Books with Lexi. The genre for Sanctum is spooky. Next, we have Cyrus, and Cyrus is the realm of love and sin. Cyrus is a place of passion. Their magic stems from indulging in anything that can be considered sinful. Cyrus is lush with vegetation, trees growing out of buildings, fields of flowers. Buildings are lavish. You'll see tall towers, maybe some giant castles. If you can overindulge, it is widely accepted and wanted. And above all else, sins of the flesh and body are holy acts that fuel the realm's core. Really, Cyrus is our big, passionate, sinful realm, which I really like. The genre for Cyrus is romance. Any kind of romance counts. And your co-rulers are Steph from Steph Loves and Rye from Rye's Reading Corner. I also forgot to show you the emblem, so here is the emblem. Then we have Ilma. And Ilma is the realm of tech and knowledge. It is just one big city where Cyrus is overflowing with overindulgence. Ilma is kind of its sister realm. They value knowledge, organization, and order above all else. Everything has its place and its value. Not one bush, building, or piece of garbage will be out of place within Ilma. And to be a student in this land is the highest achievement. So if you could be a student forever, you would just be that's incredible. This realm is fueled by learning. The more you learn, the more you evolve as a species, the more magic that runs through the world. It is also a sanctuary for different species. Aliens from across time, space, realms, planets live freely and in harmony together on Ilma. Ilma's genre, it technically has two genres. I just kind of wanted to go with learning for Ilma, so its genres are science fiction and nonfiction. And here is the emblem for Ilma. And then your amazing co-rulers are Jade from JD Ray Reads and Mel from Melanor Reads. Y'all have similar names. It was you're meant to be together on this team. And then last but certainly not least, we have Enya. Enya is the realm of myth, legend, and beast. Enya is a realm that is made up of 75% water, and in the water it is full of magical creatures. Serpents, krakens, kelpies, selkies, hydras, mermaids, and sirens. Anything you can think of or name, it will probably be in those waters, and it'll live in one of the beautiful sprawling underwater cities. There are regular islands in Enya, but if you're lucky enough to bond with a dragon, you can live on one of the many floating islands, which each have its own unique climate based on the dragons that live there. Bond with an ice dragon and spend your time in a polar vortex. Bond with a poison dragon and spend your time with pink trees and vines that are trying to kill you. There are 7 types of main dragons in Enya. We have water, ice, poison, fire, rock, electric, and grass. In Enya, myths and legends are real. Any story you've heard can, has, or will come true. The magic of this world is fueled by many things: the devotion of the magical beasts, the belief in the legends, and by us following quests of our own and achieving great things. The genre for Enya is obviously fantasy, and just a reminder that it's any type of fantasy. Soft, cozy, whimsical, epic, urban, high, etc. And your wonderful rulers are Becca from Becca and the Books and Kaylee from Kaylee's Books. You guys also have kind of matching usernames, also meant to be. And here's your emblem for Enya. And just like last year, I will have an Instagram story post for you with all 4 of the emblems, and then you can say which one you're pledging your allegiance to. It's a lot of fun to see everyone post and tag us all in. Okay, let's move on to how it works. Now that we've gotten the fun stuff over with, once you have pledged yourself to a realm, which you can do by signing up in the form below, you can either read prompts that are positive points, which increase your rifts, or you can read prompts that are negative points, which close other teams' rifts. Prompts can be doubled up. You can use a maximum of 5 prompts per book, because holy moly, we have a lot of prompts just like last year. But for each book, they must all be negative or must all be positive. So let's say I read book 1 and I want to read positive points. All good, I'll pick my 5 positive point prompts. Submit it, then I read book 2. I can then decide again whether I want to do positive or negative points. This time I'm going to do negative. I'm going to attack this realm and 5 prompts on there. When using negative points, you will get to choose which realm you're closing the rifts for. You will get to choose which one are getting those negative points. But you won't have to keep track of any of this. There is when you submit your books to the Google form, it does all of this for you. You don't have to tell me how many points you're using or anything. You'll just click some buttons. It's user-friendly. It'll guide you through it all, and then the spreadsheet will automatically get all the stats for you. There are also ways to get bonus points for your books. So you will get 10 plus or minus points depending on what you decide to do. So if you're defending, they'll be positive. If you're attacking, they'll be negative. You can get bonus points for reading your team's genre. Self-explanatory. Plus or minus 10 for reading your team's genre. You can also get plus or minus 10 for reading a hybrid genre. This is something that I learned I really liked last year. A hybrid genre is a book that encompasses more than one genre. So some examples of it are fantasy romance, because it's fantasy and it's romance. We have romantic suspense, because they're romance and thrillers. We have sci-fi horrors. These are horror books that have a lot of sci-fi elements, typically. Into the Drowning Deep is an example of that. We have fantasy sci-fi. I know Red Rising probably crosses boundaries. Ashes of the Sun is one that I've read that crosses boundaries. For the purpose of this readathon, the idea is a 60-40 split. A hybrid genre has to have a decent amount of elements of a different genre to count. And it has to be a genre outside of your own. The only ones that this matter for are spooky, because spooky encompasses horror, thriller, and mystery. You can't read a thriller mystery and count that as a hybrid genre, because essentially spooky is its own genre now. And science and nonfiction, you can't read a science nonfiction book and count it as a hybrid genre, because it's that too. It's like learning is the genre now in terms of this. You can get points for reading outside of your genre, so if you are in the horror team and you read a fantasy romance, that's still a hybrid genre book, even though it doesn't encompass your team. So you will get points. I hope that makes sense. I think that is the most confusing point of this readathon, is the hybrid genre. But like everything that I am going to tell you about this readathon, if you think it counts, please count it. I'm not policing. I'm really not going through the spreadsheet and policing everything all the time. So if you think it counts, please just count it. If you don't think it counts, please don't count it. And then the last way you can get bonus points that are plus or minus is if you read an indie or self-pubbed book. I will explain to you what this is. An indie book is a book not published by one of the big five. When you Google it or look on a publisher's website, it will say if it's an imprint of Penguin Random House, Macmillan, Simon & Schuster, Hachette, or HarperCollins. If it's not an imprint of one of those, you're good and it is an indie. And if it either says the author's name or just has no publisher on Goodreads, it's self-pubbed and counts. If you currently use my weighted rating system that I created, that spreadsheet, if you go into the more stats, you can look at all the publishers, and that should help you figure things out, because I have already broken down the parent publishers and stuff, so that will help you. So all three of those are plus or minus points, so whatever you decide to do. There's one other way that you earn points in this, but these points will always be positive to your realm. The page count of your book. So if you read a book that's less than 200 pages, you get 0 bonus points. If you read a book that's 201 to 400 pages, you get 10 bonus points. If you read 401 to 600 pages, you get 20 bonus points. And if you read 601 to 800, you get 30 bonus points. And then greater than 801 is 40 bonus points. So this is to help with average length per genre is obviously very different. But in order to help us make that a little bit more fair, I thought bonus points was a lot of fun. And just like last year, there will be a weekend of peace talks. This is a weekend where all the teams are aligned together. You get an extra 10 points for your team for every book read during a weekend of peace talks. This is a 48-hour readathon. It will be the weekend of the 15th, 16th. It'll probably start in the evening on Friday and run to evening Sunday. That way, it's a full weekend. And it's a lot of fun. We had a lot of sprints last year for it, and it was one of my favorite parts of Realmathon, so I'm excited that it's back. You can still attack people during this weekend, I should remind you. It's just that each of your books that are read during it get an extra plus 10 to your realm. So maybe save some short books for that weekend and get lots and lots of points. Let's go over the prompts. Because again, those all that I just talked about, those are bonus points that you can get for your realm. Each book, you can then still use 5 prompts, and we have 18 negative prompts and 18 positive prompts that are all worth different things. I'm going to pull up one of the graphics here that I made. Each team has its own little graphic for attacking or defending, and it has your emblem in it. So let's go positive points first. So these are the prompts that will increase your realm's magic. These are positive points for your realm. Map a black hole, a book with a map, research the rifts, an ebook, better together, a buddy read. All of those are +1. Make a fracture in time, a book that plays with history. Expand your rift, a book out of your comfort zone. Distract the other realm, a book with multiple POVs. Those are all +2. Cross to enemy territory, a YA or middle grade book. Indulge in something magical, title is a cursive font. Continue to exist, an underrated book. All of those are +3. Regroup and rejuvenate, a book with mental health rep. Conserve your energy, a retelling. Hide your rifts, an author uses initials. Those are all +4. First contact, new to you author. Call forward a rift storm, a book that has a weather-related word in the title. And meditate, a title with an emotion, so like sorrow, sad, I would count tear, cry, anger, rage, an emotion. All 3 of those are +5. Then we have send a message to an ally, spell your name on a book. You can use whatever name you want, a nickname, anything, just your name of some sort to spell your name. You can use anything on the front cover. You can't use back cover or spine, but anything on the front cover goes. So that's title of the book, author's name, if there's a blurb, series name, anything on the front cover counts for spell your name on a book. Build an energy source, sources of light, title, or on cover. Cultivate more power. Read a host favorite, any team, and those are all +6. I will show you the host favorite graphic. We have a bunch of host favorites right here. This is also written down in the Google Doc, which is linked down below. You can read across any host favorite, does not have to be your team. Also, if it is a book in a series, you can count the rest of the series. Only one that I think is questionable, Assassin's Apprentice, you can count like the initial series, but not like the further series for those, if that makes sense. Let's move on to negative point prompts. These are prompts that will be negative points. They will help close the rifts that other teams have created, and they will then deplete the magic of other realms. So each time you read a negative book, you'll be able to choose which of the 3 realms you want to attack. Last year there was alliances, and you couldn't attack some realms. This year there's no alliances. You can attack all 3 of the realms that you're not on. Bind the rifts. Read a dark cover. Intercept a realm's signal. Read an audiobook. Study the other realm's origin, a debut book, -1 for all of those. Use outdated technology, a 2022 release. Learn to bind, a 2023 release. Focus all night, a TBR vet. Those are all -2. Send rift creatures over, a monster on the cover. Lose yourself in the void, an illustrated spine. This just means that the spine has like some kind of drawing illustration on it. It's not just like the title. Use mind games. Title is a place but not a pronoun. Those are all -3. The title is a place but not a pronoun. Examples of it are the cavern or the deep. Those are all like describing a place. They're like a descriptor, but it's obviously not a pronoun. Where like Sword of Kaigen is a pronoun, even though it's a place. Expedite process, a book that plays with time. Deflect an enemy's rift, a book you didn't buy, so like Kindle, Scribd, library, something like that. You can count like Scribd, like I said, but you can't count Audible, but you could count Audible Plus. Just because like regular Audible, you technically pay, and then you use a credit and you pay for that, and you have the book forever, so it's technically like buying, where with something like Scribd or Audible Plus, you're like borrowing the book. Even though like you're paying money for it, the book goes back, you don't keep it forever. Cease to exist, an isolated setting. All of those are -4. Uncover a secret rift, author uses a pseudonym. Pretend you've already won, title is a movement, so think drowning, rise, across, a movement. Convince people to switch sides, dysfunctional family. All of those are -5. Steal their energy, steal a book from an enemy TBR. You have to steal a book from someone on someone else's team's TBR for this one. -6. Convert an enemy rift into your own. Own voices, also -6. And then block a realm's energy source, a word related to another realm, not your own in the title, which is -6. So if you're on team horror, you'd be looking for a word that relates to either sci-fi, fantasy, or romance. Or if you're on team fantasy, you'd be looking for either horror, sci-fi, or romance. And in the Google Doc, which is shared below, as I said, has like examples of words. So if you're looking for a horror related word, you'd be like ghost, haunting, something like that. A sci-fi, you would do like project, space, science, things like that. Fantasy, magic, mage, spell, romance, love, heart, red, things like that. Now, everything you need to know is linked in the description bar below. I will have the Google Drive, which will have all the graphics and everything in it. We'll have the Google Doc, which also has just like everything I've talked about today, just like written out in like format like that, so you can check that. It also has a frequently asked questions within it. And then there is also a Discord again, and in the Discord you have private chats for your realm. It's very community based, and we had so much fun last year, and I'm really, really excited for it again. I hope that you're willing to join the Discord. You'll be getting, we have a sprinter role set up, so every time we sprint, you can get a notification that we're sprinting if you want, and it's just a lot of fun. There is a frequently asked questions in the Discord that is like the easiest place to ask me a question is in Discord to get it back to you, either me or some of the mods. We'll get back to you as soon as possible if you ask it within the Discord and all that. Let's go over just like a couple of pictures of the graphics. I am actually just going to drink my coffee and I'm going to let them flip through for you. There are TBRs, there are attacking positive or negative book things, anything like that. So let's just have a little flip through. Let's just go through some frequently asked questions just so that if you need them, they're here and I can maybe help explain some things. How do you sign up? There is a link down below with the sign up form. The form to submit your books will not be live until April 1st, but right now there is a sign up form and that is really important that you sign up to, so please go do that. The other thing I should say is I will probably have kickoff sprints on the 31st of March again. I did this last year. I have UK hosts, and so I think it's only fair if we start in UK time. So the readathon for me will start midnight BST time, April 1st, and go all the way until midnight, April 31st time in Mountain Standard Time. You are welcome to join me with those time zones and go. Or if you are PST, you can go to PST, which is an hour behind me, and I think that's the last time zone in the world. So there's that. But when the readathon starts is when you will get the submission form, but right now there's only the Google sign up form in the description bar, and please, please, please sign up. It'll also be in the notes, and it'll be like the pinned comment as well. Can I use more than one prompt? Yes. You can use 5 prompts per book. You can use those 5 prompts. You can use the prompts as many times as you want. You can just only use 5 prompts per book. And they must all either be increasing or all either be decreasing. But the spreadsheet does this for you. Does this book count? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. If you think it counts, please count it. If you don't think it counts, don't count it. Do I have to read my realm's genre? No, you don't have to read anything you don't want to. I know a lot of people who join a realm just for like the host. There's so many ways to get points within this readathon that aren't just like the genre. How long is the readathon? The whole month of April. How do I track my reads? As I said, the tracking form will be linked April 1st in the description bar. It'll also be in Discord. It'll be on Twitter. I will make it as accessible as I can to get to it. How many times can the bonus prompts be used? As many times as you like. Just again, per book. Can prompts be reused? Yes. Can we only attack one realm, or can we attack all of them? You can attack all of them, it's just going to be, again, one realm per book. What is a hybrid genre? 60-40 split, but again, you do you. How is it fair if one realm has more members than the others? This was a big issue last year, and I just need to, and it shouldn't have been, because there is no issue here, but people kept complaining about it when they were on a bigger team or a smaller team. I need to remind everyone, points are averaged per person on the team, so it does not matter. It literally does not matter. This makes it as fair as possible. There is no perfect way to do it, but this is the closest way I found. And I just want to remind everyone that the readathon is for fun. It's just meant to have us read more and be fun and community based, because reading can be so lonely. Is there a minimum prompt number I have to complete? Nope, you do as many or as little as you would like. Do manga or graphic novels count? Yes, any form of reading counts. This year there are bonus points for page count, and that's all that matters. I ask that if you read a graphic novel, you put it under 200 pages, just because it reads like a less than 200 page book, even if it is a little bit longer, but that's all. That is all. Can a book I started in March but finish in April count? Please use your discretion for this. If you've only finished 10 pages of it in April, my answer is no, but if you read a good chunk of it in April, then sure. Can a book be a reread? Yes. Do DNFs count? You have to have read more than 50% of it to count. What happens if I miss prompts in submitting? Can I change them or submit them again? Sadly, no. I ask that you make sure that you do everything properly the first time. Double check your submissions before you do them. I just don't have the time to go through and help everyone. I think that's all I have to say. So I want to say a big thank you to all my beautiful rulers again. Thank you for joining me. We're gonna have lots of sprints, so a reminder that everything you need is in the description bar below. Please fill out that sign up form and pledge yourself to a realm. I'm excited to see what everyone picks. Again, there is the Google Doc and Google Drive in the description bar. That has all the graphics and has like a Word document that has everything you need. Also the Discord, which also has all of the graphics and links to things, and will have a lot of information within the Discord. I think that's all I need to say. I hope it all makes sense. It runs very, very similarly to how it did last year, so if you participated last year, you already know. But anyways, I'm so excited. It's weird because it's like a baby, and it's just like, I'm excited to see it blossom again. If you were here and made it all the way to the end of this video, let me know in the comments below which realm you are choosing or what prompt you are most excited for. And then if you'd like to connect with me on other platforms, my Bookstagram, my Book Twitter, my Goodreads, and my Patreon, all linked in the description bar below. Same with all the information for this readathon. And have yourselves an absolutely remarkable day. I'm so excited.